Hey y'all, hey, it's Patty from Giddy Things. We're here with day 10. Can you believe it? We're officially 10 days into our 5-minute exercise challenge. Please check with your doctor before you decide to exercise or begin any kind of a plan or a challenge. But I have been doing the 5 minutes, accidentally did 7 yesterday, for this is 10 days. Today I did something different. The handy helper and I went to a couple of grocery stores and to a Ross to do a little bit of clothes shopping for him. Primarily, he got a pair of Skechers shoes there too. And I ended up needing, because there weren't scooters, needing to do a little bit more walking than typical. Now, I call it walking. It's very difficult, but I did well in excess of what I would have done on the pedal machine at home. So I called that slice of life activity. I can't remember where I learned that term. Maybe I'll try to look it up and see where that came from, but I know I didn't make it up. I did the slice of life activity by just using what I was already doing as my minutes for the day. And I'm sure I far exceeded the 5 minutes, really, to be honest, when it comes to how difficult it was. It wasn't probably the ideal thing to do, but it was the situation I found myself in. And so it was probably maybe a little harder than I needed to be on myself, but I didn't necessarily do it on purpose. It's just sometimes life calls, adventure calls. And so that's what I did today. And I got some upper body too by lifting groceries and things like that. Again, slice of life activity. I hope you're doing well. And if you are participating in the mobile part of the challenge, the actual moving and exercising, you don't have to do that to be a part of the challenge. You can just cheer us on, and that's good too if you're not able to safely exercise. But if you are a part of that, I hope, whatever you did, 0 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, a minute, 5 minutes, 7 minutes, 10 minutes. That's great. Since we're on day 10, I'm going to ask you to check in and tell me if you're going to increase your activity or if you feel like you need to pull back on your activity and how things are going. I'm going to keep mine at a 5-minute challenge for probably at least the first 2 weeks. So I've got a good 7 more days before I'm going to think about going up any minutes because I'm finding it challenging. And again, today was even more challenging because I was doing some activity that I'm not really that sure was prudent for me to do. But again, if I'm in a situation and I've got to get from point A to point B and there's no assistive devices, sometimes I have to make those choices. We are going to have to get to a point where I have an assistive device all the time with me. And it's not that I can't, it's that I haven't. And I think a little bit of that, I don't know. I think sometimes a little bit of it is, I don't want to just be fully dependent on assistive devices, but I don't really think it's as much that as it is just a matter of convenience. It's not that convenient to travel around with a wheelchair with you all the time, but it is getting to a point where I'm going to have to hurt myself if I don't do that. And I was supposed to do that. Should have listened. I was supposed to do that a long time ago, but I just am so in admiration of people who have to travel with assistive devices like wheelchairs all the time because they just have to. I really should, and I've been told that I should, and I'm going to work into that in the very near future. It's one of the reasons that I got a Honda CR-V so that I could have a vehicle that was easy to get a light wheelchair in and out of. But it's all about picking that out, purchasing that, and then getting used to using it on a regular basis. Maybe it is a little bit sort of a, I want to be independent, but you can be independent and use a wheelchair. There's nothing about a wheelchair that makes you dependent on anyone. It's just the learning curve, and I've used a wheelchair enough to know that the world is not built for wheelchairs. So more on that in other videos, but I hope today's challenge finds you well, regardless of whether or not you're participating. I hope you know how loved you are and that you will continue to go in peace and love to serve others. And please join me in praying for Ukraine.